Hey everybody, what is happening? Back into the normal digs. As you can see, this week back home from traveling and having lots of fun with Debbie. This week I want to talk about. So it was kind of interesting as I've been looking at every Monday morning. Debbie and I have a meeting with ourselves and with our team, the leadership part of our team. We talk about, and it's always like we always ask her questions like, what is your right action, right time? Meaning like, there's something we need to talk about this week. Is there something we need to do this week, based upon current events and things happening in the world and all that fun stuff, right? Um, because I'm always looking at it, and from a money perspective, there's a lot that happens each week, and the question is, for me, always I would look and be like, hey, how is this going to be beneficial to you guys? Is it going to be timeless enough that the video will age well? If not, then I'll send an email instead or some other type of communication. But just thoughts, because current events are interesting in a lot of different ways, but mostly just like it's a good litmus test for how we're feeling overall as people. And so I always kind of like feel into this and be like, okay, what is this going to influence what I live stream about this week? Is it going to be something else I experienced? Like, where are we kind of at? Because sometimes I won't talk about things. I'll just kind of let them be and let them go. Other times I will, based upon how strongly I feel about what's happening. So, excuse me. Um, Earlier today, Debbie was hopping on a group call she had, and her and I had just been on a different call first, and I was going to get up and leave as she started her next meeting. And the people got on, and I said hi to them. I know most of them. And it was interesting because she's like, hey, wait, while you're here, let's chat about a few things, right? And it was right in line with what I wanted to chat about today in here, which are really it turned into this kind of a theme of like the stress around money in our situation, right? Our meaning our individual selves and what's happening. So that's not how the conversation started, right? The conversation started really because there's a lot of kind of, I don't know, agitation right now in lots of different industries. Because of COVID over this last year, it's caused a whole lot of agitation with a lot of different people. But we start looking at numbers, and numbers always push on us. And so I always like looking at the numbers overall and lots of different things to see how they're affecting where people are at. So one, the jobs report came out, and it's not as good as what the government wanted, right? So there's numbers right there. Unemployment's still really high. But on top of that, right, there's like stock market right now, people are like kind of freaking out about because different indications say that, hey, it's not going to be well for very much longer. So there's another pressure of numbers, right? House prices right now across the whole U.S. are just like bonkers high. Anybody talking about home prices right now are just like, it's crazy how high they are. What were some other things? Gas prices are going up a little bit because of different things that have happened. Some food prices are continuing to go up. So there's a lot of stress in a lot of these numbers that are going up that affect us on a daily basis. So that's where the conversation started. But then it evolved, which was the part I really want to get into because it evolved into, okay, so that's cool because those are kind of more macro problems, right? It affects us a little bit here and there, but we can kind of control some of that. Like lumber prices are really high. I'm not going to go build a new house, so it's not going to affect me. I don't have any wood projects in the next 6 months that I'm going to do, or maybe ever, right? I don't work with wood. I'm not like handy like that. Steel prices are really far up. So all these things. And so Debbie looked at me and said something to the effect of, so what about, let's do a different scenario. And how does this apply when it comes to money and how we interact with numbers and our relationships? And it was fascinating what came out, right? A lot of times when I teach, like I'll think about things and I'm just like, well, this is how I see it. And then we get into a discussion. Hence why I always ask you guys, drop your comments or questions or your comments in the comment section, because I'll answer your questions, right? I love answering questions because it gets my brain thinking about like, oh, wow, that's a very interesting predicament. Let's see how we can solve that, right? Because the solution is generally not always like there's different solutions for different people, but our problem seems so unique that we think, oh, it's just us, right? We get in this place of it's just me. Nobody understands my situation like me. Well, no, all of our situations are unique, but the underlying themes, like I've talked about plenty of times, like our money stories, are usually not so unique and specific to us. So you're not alone. Okay, I want you to hear that. You are not alone. However, you got to speak up. Like, I can't help you in this group, on this YouTube channel, wherever you're watching me. I can't help you if you don't ask questions. So I love questions. So please ask questions. So so back to Debbie. So she posed this story. She's like, so what about like you lose your job and like, the bills are stacking up and you can't pay the money and all these things, right? When it comes to money and our situation, because it becomes our situation, it becomes stressful because we're trying to pay bills, trying to take care of our families, trying to pay things, might have business expenses, just whatever the case may be. We have these pressures and that stress of our situation and our uniqueness. We don't think there are any answers outside of us. We're like, we understand this, right? Maybe bring it back to I. Only I understand this, so only I can figure it out. Well, first I'm going to say that you're the last person that's going to figure out a solution for the situation you're in because you can't see all the possibilities. Right? When we're in these situations, as dire as they feel, you really got to put your pride aside and you got to reach out to people who can help you. I've had clients come to me and be like, oh, here's my really dire situation. Ones who've been in massive amounts of debt. And the thing I always say to people is I'm not invested in the outcome. I'm invested in people. I want you to do well. I care about you. But at the end of the day, I'm not invested in the outcome of whatever you're going through because I'm not part of it. And people are like, well, that seems very short-sighted, Joe. Well, not really, because then I'm like one of the best people to help you with a solution. When we're so invested in things, think about sports teams. When we're so invested in our sports team, whether they win or lose, we're like, oh, we either like have a great night or we fall apart, depending on the outcome. But on teams I watch who I really don't care, sometimes I can't even finish the game because I'm like, I don't really care who wins or loses. It doesn't matter to me. When these life situations start happening to us, it's best to find a friend or a colleague or a mentor, somebody who's not part of the problem, not part of what's going on. Because they have a clear head who can help you see potential and possibilities for solutions that you couldn't. And they're not invested in the outcome. They're invested in you. They're invested that they want you to survive and have a good life and not be in a point where it's painful. We all have pain points. If you look in the business world, that's what all the marketing points to, right? Pain points. How can I help you so you don't or aren't in pain anymore? So I look at that when it comes to money, like all these numbers start pushing on us. But when that situation is ours, who do you reach out to? Like honestly, who are you reaching out to when it's painful? Are you reaching out to people who can help you, or are you reaching out to people who you think you can just complain to? Sometimes you might need that. But I'm in the business of helping people transform. I'm not going to let you sit in that place of complaining my life's hard. Yeah, I know it is. It sucks. I've been there. But what do you want to do different so that you can be somewhere different tomorrow? Because if we get stuck in our situation that nobody can help us, then it's going to play out exactly like we think it is. We're going to lose things. We're going to be in the struggle. We're going to just not like life. It's going to be hard. Life's hard enough. We don't need to make it harder, but most of us do. How do I know? I've been there. Right? If you listen to our story from 2009, 2010, 2011, all the way to like 2012, like that little short window of time, life was really hard. And I remember back through then, like I reached out to very few people. Not a lot of people knew we were struggling. Now, if I had to do it over again, I would do completely different things. Because I know now that you got to find people who can help you see a point of view. Because what happens when you find a coach, a mentor, somebody to help you with this, they can help you get through it way faster than if you just kind of stumbled through it. That's what I help my clients with all the time. How to get past their money blocks and their money beliefs and their relationship with money so that it continues to so it can be something to help them and not hamper them in what they're really trying to do. Stress is not required for success. But we put it on us to be like, oh, I got to totally stress out about this because I don't know why we're conditioned that way. So when we look at the stress of our situation, It's a great indication to be like, it's time to reach out to somebody. Even if it's only for somebody for support, do something. Because if we continue to be caught up in the shame and the guilt of, oh, I put myself in this situation, now I have to be the one to get me out. Those who are very tenacious are going to get themselves out. But what I can guarantee you is it's going to take you twice as long as it would have had you not found and talked to somebody who's been there and done that and been able to get past it. Life experience matters for something. And when you can find somebody who's not invested in the situation, right? It's not emotionally attached to that situation, then they can start seeing possibilities that we couldn't see before. It doesn't seem as dire to them because the outcome doesn't really matter to them. What matters, what always matters to me is you. Your situation that you're living your most joyous life, making the money you want to make so you can create the impact you want. And when you hit those snags, it can be problematic. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you this week that as you look at your life and where you're struggling the most, find that area, because there is an area where you're struggling the most and you feel like you're so unique in that situation that nobody can help you. I'm going to challenge you to reach out to somebody who can help you. Someone who can help you see a different perspective. Someone who can help you see something that you're not thinking of. You're in that situation because you've exhausted all your options. It's time to employ somebody else to help you. Because if you don't, you're just going to get stuck there. And if you get stuck, then it's going to be that much longer until you can create the impact you're really looking for. So don't let money influence how you're feeling. Don't let money influence the stress of the situations you're in. Find somebody to help you. Get out of that situation. If it's an idea, if it's actual money, if it's something, but there are people in your life. Trust me. There are people in your life who can help you, who want to help you. You just got to open up your mouth and speak. Because I don't know about y'all, but I can't read minds. So you got to speak up before I can help. So sit with that. Find your little group of people who can help you. Bounce ideas off them, and you'll have a much better week, I promise. So until next week, we'll catch you later. Bye.